Well, you know, it is Saturday at 7 o'clock. And I've got these beautiful blackberries that I got at the store last week. And I thought to myself, you know, I need to use those. So I'm going to do that. So first of all, though, I'm going to check. I had bought these Belmont deep dish pie crust because I'm not going to make a same old southern cobbler. I'm going to let me get this one back in the freezer. I'll put some wrap on it here in a little bit. I don't want to leave it out though, so I'll get that put back in there a little bit. I don't want to leave it out because I don't want it to spoil. Now the reason I want that, I just feel like a black skillet cooks pies. I mean, the cobblers and pies and everything a little better than, and I'm not sure that these fall apart anyway. So I'm just gonna crumble that down there in this edging. Because I'm gonna use this for one of my egg pies. Now it always falls apart anyway. So I'm just gonna use these little. Now I'll put this back in my plastic wrap and I'll put it into the top part of the refrigerator. Because in the morning I'll make one of my egg pies and I'll use that. I don't like the way that breaks off and gets all over the cabinet, and I said I'm not going to do it no more. So that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to put it down in there. And I'm going to use an extra pie dough to put over that, because I just love crust. Don't y'all love crust? I do. I literally do. You have to pull that and get it. You can get it in that pan. Kind of pinch it up on the sides. And if it falls apart, that's fine too, because it's going to even be better. So I just mash that up on my skillet. Make sure there's not too many holes in it. This is just going to be easy. We're just going to do this as easy as we can. Got our other for the top. Now to this, let me get a bowl. Now to this, I am going to put applesauce, because I don't have but about a cup and maybe 2 cups of blackberries, and that's just not enough for this. So I'm going to extend it with this applesauce. I'm just taking 4 of these little applesauce things. Let me see how many we need. And that 2 might. I think 2 will do it, because I don't want it overdone there too much. Now I think I'm going to blind bake this, but this crust has got so much butter in it. So we're going to have to use our little foil and our pie weights just to kind of hold it in place. And I may have to use, because I don't want it, let me pull this around here. I don't know if I want it. I think that'll be enough to hold that up to get it just baked enough to where it won't be slimy, you know. So we'll put this in our oven for, probably 7 minutes. And then we'll see how it does. Alright, so now to my applesauce and my berries, I'm going to put them together. My applesauce and my berries. Now you can use sliced apples in this, but I didn't have any fresh sliced apples. So then I'm going to use my cornstarch. I'm going to put, let me get my measuring, because I want 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Then I'm going to use I'm going to put 1/4 cup just a minute, 1/2 cup. I'm trying to get these. I'm going to make this with all sugar. This is pure cane sugar. I'm going to put 1/2 cup of sugar in with that. I'm doing it just like the recipe today. Now we've got 1/2 cup of sugar. Let's get a teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Then I take a 1/4 teaspoon of pure almond extract, which is not very much, but it gives it just a hint of good flavor. That almond extract is what my grandmother said. They didn't have perfume, but they daubed that behind their ears if they were going out on a date. I guess it made them irresistible. I don't know what it did. Might get them eating. They'd eat them up, I guess. I don't know. Let's get a teaspoon of lemon juice. So, got out using our Nelly Joe's key lime lemon. Can't do without that. There's 1 teaspoon lemon juice. That helps with those berries' acidity since you've got the applesauce. It just helps the flavor. So let me get a little bit of, I've got this cabinet in a mess. Hold on. Blue jeans been in here, so let me get this kind of wiped off. Let me check that crust and I'll be right with you. Alright, it still needs about 3 or 4 more minutes. Let me get some butter for it. I've got my plate of butter here. Let's just do about 2 big hunks of butter into that. There you got your stuff there. Get that mixed up, little Jean. Now, I'll get me a spoon. And I'm just going to start mixing this and see what the consistency is. So we'll check in just a minute and see if this is still enough applesauce. And I think it will be. We're going to check the crust first. Okay, I pulled this out of the oven. Now we'll check and see if we get in my little speckle bowl. I'll hurry up and put my, so that got that done enough to where it'll be a good crust there when I get that taken care of. And then it'll work, I think, pretty well. So let's check now and see about this. Get this mixed real well. That's got your butter and all that. Now, even if that's just enough to fill the bottom, I'm going to pull that in so it doesn't really matter. I don't care if it's a full big cobbler or not. You know, I'm just going to put that in up to the edge. Now that filled it up better than I thought it would. So if you don't have a top crust, you'd be okay too. You see? Now I'm not going to pick that pan up because it's still hot and it's about like something I do. Forget and pick it up. Okay, that's got our ingredients there in it. Now, let me see about this crust here. See these are the Aldi's, those Aldi crusts. And they sure are. Let me get my Gina grab that pan before it's over with and got a little puppet there. Let me turn this to the side. Kind of get this out here so that that's pretty greasy. That's one thing about this. I use my little cutter. Then I don't have to sit there and do it all. It just cuts. So that's the best way. I'll flip it over. That may be too soft. If it is, we'll just put it on there like that anyway. We just push our hand down on it. That gets all those little deals there, and you don't have to worry about. Which we didn't have to worry about this anyway. If we wanted to, let me get my little puppet here. Pull it over. Now, let's see if I can get this done. We're gonna try. Maybe just a little. Well, it kind of did, but I kind of pull that over. I love all that crust. I do. I literally do. Doesn't matter. It'll be fabulous. Pull that up on the sides with your knife. You got a kind of a pie. I mean, you've got a pie. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright. That's as good as we can get this done, because I'm not going to mess with it no more, and I'm not going to fret over the way it looks, because it will look totally different once this is all browned and fluffed and puffed, and I just want that to stick to the edges on each side. So let's get that in the oven, and then I'll be back. Okay, y'all, I've got the kitchen kind of put together. These little lettuce things are good, especially on the holidays. If you're making more than a few pies, you can just stamp that out, and you can get them on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. Now, I kept that pie on 425. I put it on 425, and it's been in there about 50 minutes. You want it brown. I'm trying to find my, here's me, let me get one of my puppets. So you want that pie brown and the filling bubbling. Then you know I've got a bowl here. Hold on just a minute. Let me move my bowl. Okay, now I was trying to wash those dishes, and there we go. Oh, it's hot. It's hotter than you know what. It's a bubbling and hot and all that kind of thing. Now it's best to let that cool down completely to room temperature. It just seems to marry all the ingredients together. But I may take that out, take some of that out. Let me get a bowl and a dipper, because I know y'all want to see that. We got to have some ice cream. You can't do cobbler without ice cream, you know. So let me get in the freezer. And I'll get I'm gonna get the Brahms. No sugar added. And let me find my little thing. There's some ice cream. Boy, as a child, we could not wait. We could not wait for grandmother to take something out of the oven, like a pie or a cake or anything, because we knew it was going to be good. We knew we were going to get fed. So we're going to cut down and just see. I'm just going to take a piece out of this. Now, if we let that cool on down, it'll get thicker. But you can cut that little piece of crust right there. Oh gosh, look at that. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. See, now that's what I'm talking about with all that crust. That's what makes it divine, is that crust. That's what makes it so good, y'all. All right, now we'll get us a ice cream. Might have to have 2 ice creams. Y'all were here, y'all could be having some pie with us. All right, so there's our blackberry pie, cobbler pie, whatever you call it. We'll just say blackberry cobbler pie. Let me see if I can give just a little bite to make sure the sweetness is okay. Because we only put a half cup of sugar and I didn't put no sweetener. It's got to cool because I'm not going to burn my mouth. That's good. Oh, that's good. All right. It's just right. Sweetness, everything. So that's what we're going to have. Wish y'all was here. You could have a bowl of cobbler with us. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.